Coach, two exhibitions in the books, two wins, two decisive wins. What, though, did you guys get out of those matchups?
You know, our exhibition game schedule each year is for us to put on the uniforms, play in front of the band, get some fans out here to look at some of the new faces, and run an offensive pattern or two, and try to line up defensively and get a stop now and then. So we accomplished all that. We know what a pregame talk looks like. We know what a halftime talk smells like, and now it's time to take our road on the show on the road, and see what we can do up there in Seattle.
From watching these two contests, Lucas, very exciting. Somebody that appears that can shoot the long ball, that can do pretty much a lot for the squad. What does he bring to this team?
Yeah, we're excited about our freshman, and Jaron in particular. Obviously, he can really shoot the basketball, and having him as a weaponry offensively is definitely something why we recruited him. He's a fine young man, great student, works very hard, and he's still got a big learning curve going right now, and we need to be patient with that. But at the same time, we certainly need his expertise in shooting the basketball, so he'll be looked upon.
With the two exhibitions, plenty of practices, how ready are you to kind of get this season underway and have the games that count?
No, we're on the edge of our seats. We're very excited about traveling, getting out of town, and going up to a venue which will be extremely challenging Friday night at 7 o'clock against Seattle Pacific. Will be a true test, not just far as a preseason game, not just because it's the Division II counter or a conference challenge counter. It's a West Region powerhouse, and they've been that way for a long, long time, over the last 15, 16 years. I'm certain the record books will show that they are the #1 team in the West Region that has gone to the tournament, the NCAA tournament, more than any other institution in the West Coast.
For you guys, seeing what you have, obviously experience, it brought in some new players, but will you be able to do the rotation of 5 every time, or what will be kind of your rotation once it's game time?
Yeah, the platoon system works well for exhibition games and preseason games, just because you're still establishing roles, a combination of players that play well together, and you take a look at those streaks, those 6 to 8 point streaks that we can get in off of fast breaks and some defensive steals and outbreaks, and we're still soul searching that way. I think every college basketball team in America right now is not quite sure where their substitution pattern is going to be, so platoon system is an option. We'll see what happens this weekend.
Obviously, if you guys are hitting the 3 ball, as example, even last night, that good things are going to happen. But even when you miss a couple, you will have that inside presence and the rebounding presence that's going to be huge for you this year.
Yeah, well, Calvin Young is a presence inside. He's only 6'5" or whatever his height he says on his driver's license, but he plays way longer, way bigger than that. He's a capable player to make presence inside, whether it's a shot block or offensive rebound, and hopefully a lot of defensive rebounds. So he's a key component to us as far as our post play.
It's not a conference game, a non-conference game, but it's kind of, does it have like that postseason feel or that kind of tournament feel where you going to another place and having other teams?
It is. We saw them in the West Regional last year. We didn't go head to head with them, but they were one of the 8 teams in the West Region that were there, and so we know those people and they know us, and we go back to the GNAC days, and there's certainly a rivalry that the coaches that remain and the fans that have been in the programs for a long time understand that. I think if we look back in March, we'll look back to this particular game, our home opener, our first game opener. We'll look back, and it will probably add a lot of significance to rankings if we're so fortunate that we're in that position in March.
Obviously, Calvin has a unique situation coming off the knee injury. How has he looked to you just from kind of a conditioning and overall kind of standpoint?
Calvin's done a great job being diligent about his training, his rehab over the last year, and our training room's done a great job. Shannon Childs, Dr. Kosh, did an excellent job bringing him back, progressing at a timely rate, but I've been very reluctant about pushing him or letting the reins go, and the only giving him select amount of reps throughout practice, just so we wouldn't re-injure that and make sure it was full to go. He's 100%. He's ready to go. He's completely cleared. He's playing at a high level right now. Just keep him out of foul trouble and probably stay on the court a lot.
You look at kind of the nucleus of this team, obviously with Calvin, Malik, Nikhil, Tyrus, those are guys who pretty much have grown up in this program together. How much does that kind of, you want that to kind of feed into the success, just knowing that these guys are, either in year 2 or year 3 playing on the same team?
Yeah, those three you mentioned, I mean, we've got a 2-year plan right now, or even 3-year plan. If you take a look at our roster, I mean, we don't have a significant senior that's playing right now, and we got a bunch of young juniors and sophomores that are on this team. Plus, we're really excited about our freshman class. So in terms of gelling together, we're looking at 2 or 3 years as far as a program and what we're trying to do with those great talents on this team.
Obviously, Malik is now kind of the unquestioned leader of this team. Obviously, it's natural with his position on the floor. But how have you seen him kind of progress as the years have gone on, and now entering his junior year where he's the guy?
Yeah, Malik's doing a great job on the court, distributing the basketball right now. He knows he can score off the dribble to get to the rim or shoot the threes. He's really improved the shot. It's about the leadership part right now, that he feels like he's the guy, and we don't have a Rocky Brown or a Tom Witzel or Ethan Dillard, our seniors last year, that had the big voice in the locker room. Now Malik has obviously a significant voice in the locker room, and he's doing a great job with that.
Your bench guys, there's a lot of youngsters there. I mean, looking last night, it was a lot of freshmen or sophomores coming off the bench. When you've got, say, youngsters, but they're also high ceiling youngsters, I mean, does that just to show that like you're saying, I think the other day, a lot of them can pop off at any given point?
Yeah, I think that we need to give them some experience early in the season, and it's going to be tough this weekend because it's going to be the real deal. It's not going to be Bristol. It's not going to be Future. It's going to be a very difficult opponent, and they're going to get their feet wet, not only against very talented, strong players that are seasoned. They're going to be playing in an environment that's going to be collegiate-like.
Just having Seattle Pacific right out of the gate, like you said, they're a team that was in the West Region last year, like you guys. What kind of test? How good of it is it to have a test like that right out of the gate?
It's not typical for our schedule. Usually we have a lot of NAIA schools early in the November month, and we're playing at home typically, which we will later this month. But to get this conference challenge, the design to put this on the schedule, instead of playing 26 games, we play 28. The 2 are exempt right now, so that really helps us as far as strength of schedule. Back in March or later in March, when we look at that, these 2 Division II games will help our strength of schedule. If we win them both, obviously that'll be fantastic. If we split, it certainly doesn't hurt us. So, we need to go up there and do our best and play well, keep our momentum together, keep our locker room excited to get better throughout November, so when we hit conference, we're playing the right way.